I'm Mohammed Naji Abu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So we all know that Google has released Gemini and it outperforms ChatGPT 4 in many scenarios. Okay. So in this video we will be discussing on Gemini and we will be discussing how can we use Gemini Pro using Python programming language. Okay. So for that what we need, first we need to get the Google API key for this one. So for that what we can do, we can go to aistudio.google.com. okay, so here we can click on create API key and we will have the API key. Okay, so while clicking on this one we will get the API key. We can use this API key in our programs. Okay, so I already have that API key, so I'm not going to create it again. Okay, so this is I have imported the OS and I have set the Google API key in the environment. Now let me run this. Okay, so once that is done, what we can do, we can first install the package. Okay, so here we can install Google Generative AI package. Okay, so in my case it's already installed, but yeah, it maybe take a couple of seconds to install. Okay, so the installation is done. So once the installation is done, we can import the Google Generative AI. We can import it as a Gen AI. Okay, so we are importing that. Let me add few more cells here. Okay, now we can take the Google API key. Maybe let me assign this Google API key from the os.environ. Okay, this is actually no need because we already have that in hand, but let me assign it here. Okay, now we have the Google API key in our hand. Now we can see what are the available models with generative AI. I mean Google Generative AI. For that what we can do, we can just do a for loop. We can check the Gen AI dot list model. So this will list all the models that is available with the Google with this package. Okay, so here I can print model dot name. Okay, we can see what will the result. So we can see that this is printing like a few models. So chat by Sun and text by Sun and embedding, and maybe embedding model and provision. So a lot of things it is printing. So we only need that models with which can be used for to generate the content. So for that what we can do a check. Here we can check if generate content is in the model dot supported generated method. So if this is there, then only we need to print it. Okay, let me adjust the indent here. Okay, now we can execute it again. So here we can see that we have a different versions of the model, that is Gemini Pro, Pro 001, Pro latest, and the Vision latest, and Pro Vision. So these are the few models, few generative content models that is available with this Google Generative AI package. Okay. Here what we can do, we can see how can we use the Google Gemini Pro model. Okay, for that I can create Gen AI dot generative model. Should be autofilling. Let me see. I can use generative model. Okay, here I can use Gemini Pro. I'm going to use the Gemini Pro. Okay, so here we have the model. Now I can try to ask few questions. Okay, here I can select model dot, I need to generate content. Okay, and here I can ask what is the meaning of life. So it's executing. It may take 6 to 7 seconds to get the response. Okay, took 6 seconds. You can see the seconds here. Now here I can print it, response.text. Okay, so this is the content. It mentioned that philosophical, prospective, and all those things are mentioned here. Okay, so if some error is happened, what we can do, we can check the feedback also. So here response.feedback, just type feedback. Now we can see its feedback. I think it's feedbacks. Response dot. So let me check the autocomplete here. Second, response dot. Okay, it's prompt feedback. Okay, so let me execute this. Here we can see the content type. So here we can see the harm category is sexually explicit, it is negligible, and here we can see that it is negligible harm category. So there is nothing harmless. That is why we got this result. Okay. Now one more thing we need to remember here is Google Generative AI is actually creating one more output. Okay, so it creating like different candidate. So we can see like what is the another candidate for this one. For that we can type response dot candidates. Okay, so this is the another candidate that is created by, that is generated by the candidate. Okay, generated by the this Gemini Pro model. See, so this is the second answer for this one. So we can always compare these two things and we can always check for the best answer. Okay. Now lastly what we can do, we can see how can we do the streaming part. Okay. For streaming, what we can here, we can repeat the same line of code, model dot generate content. Okay, here I can ask the same question. What is the meaning of life? Then you can just pass another parameter, stream is equal to true. Okay. So this took only 1 second. Okay, but to get the result, so if you let me type it, response.text. See the error, we are getting an error here. Please let the response complete iterations before accessing the final accumulated attribute. Okay, so here what we can do, we can take it as a chunks. Okay, here I can do a chunk in response. Now we can print the chunk.text. Now let me maybe print it. Okay, I'm just printing it and drawing a line under each chunk. Here it says a error. The meaning of life is personally. What happened? We can check the error. 504 deadline exceed. For chunk response. Okay, so this is, let me remove this one and let me try it again. Okay, the meaning of life is deeply personal, subjective question that has been, okay, we are only getting one text here for chunks dot. Something went wrong here for chunk here. So let me run it again. Okay, so let me run it again, response. Okay, because in between like I have run the cell number 50. So try it again. Okay, Now we are getting the response, the complete response as a chunks. Earlier what happens is in between, like I have run this line of code, that may be the reason it was throwing some error. Okay, but if we execute this, so we will have the entire text as a, entire response as a string. Okay, so I believe everybody understood how to get a Gemini key and how to use that in our Python programming language. Okay. So that is all about in this video. Please do like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye bye.